Hey folks, it's your Colonel here. It's hellbrokeloose.com. And today is the first time that we're going to go trolling Facebook together. And this is going to be a lot of fun. So, for those that didn't get the announcement yesterday, rather than my usual rants today, I'm just going to go down through my Facebook feed and the things that I might usually be triggered by or comment on in the little comment boxes, in the little Facebook algorithms, in the little plantation of the Facebook. I'm just gonna speak my mind on them. Just gonna scroll through and take a look. Good, bad, ugly, in between, whatever. So, gonna start right now with that. So, I'm gonna scroll down here through my feed and see what's going on. Here's one from Denny Humphrey. Oh, this looks interesting.
Car returns right there. We got not even. Oh, it's already rolling away. Man, that car's loose. It could roll away and hit somebody. Perhaps these young children. We'd hate for them to grow up with a disability. Car returns right over there. See right there? Where you going? It's blocking the driveway.
Cart Nazis? That's a thing? So apparently there's people that troll parking lots looking for car defenders that leave their shopping carts unattended. Let's see. I guess she's about to have a freak out here.
I heard you, and I decided.
And you've ignored me? Why not?
Because you're an ass.
Why? No, I'm not. I'm being a nice guy who's pointing out how to.
You're an ass who has a camera on, and I'm going to see myself online.
Well,
Thank you.
Well, that's not a good thing. You shouldn't be proud of that.
I'm not proud of it.
Well, do you want to?
I don't want you filming me.
Here's the good thing you could do. If you want to be proud of yourself, you can take your cart back and do a good thing.
Take your cart back and do a good thing. Good job, Denny. Denny always has some funny crap up on there. Oh my goodness. Mayor Greg Fisher posting, our new LMPD chief, Yvette Gentry, is a champion for Louisville and for always doing the right thing for everybody and a leader who will always share her honest opinion. Join me in welcoming her back to this interim period and in thanking her for taking on this challenge. That's cool. Yvette Gentry. Is that the same? Is this the same? Is this the same lady that came out of retirement? I can't remember if that was her name or not, Yvette Gentry. I'm assuming it is. There was a black lady that came out of retirement basically as interim chief. So I'm assuming that she's just now coming back on. I don't know, but y'all check that out. Probably Wave 3 is carrying that story right now. KT Stevens writes, PSA, if you're going to unfriend me, don't feel the need to DM me and tell me you're doing so. Just do it. You don't need to be polite when you're calling me an insensitive piece of shit. Love, Kirk. I'm not going to unfriend you, KT. I kind of like you, dude. Jen Yates. Bad wreck at Newburgh and Baxter Avenue. Heads up, drivers. Being a good Samaritan on there. Thank you, Jen. See some film festival stuff. Advertisements. So John Paul Founder. Uh-oh, looks like somebody else is pissed at old Zuck the Zuckerberg. John Paul Founder the third writing, so is Mark Zuckerberg taking this away just after the election so we can no longer get racist fired? Or, and it says, it's a Facebook notification. It looks like professional skills are going away soon. John, we want to let you know professional skills that you added to your profile will be removed from Facebook on November 5th. You'll be able to access and download this info anytime before it's no longer available. Explore jobs and we can explore new job opportunities. So that's interesting. I'm not even sure. Okay, so this is some sort of a hoax, I'm thinking. You see here, down here at the bottom, so does this mean they are removing employment from the About Me section? No. Cool, deleting this cuz false alarm, thanks Hive Mind. Okay, so that was just a false alarm. See, Facebook is just home to fake news. It just is. Some people get all riled up over stupid nonsense that doesn't even exist. Libertarian Joe Jorgensen from Farron James here. Libertarian Joe Jorgensen has never smoked pot, but she would still defend your right to do it in her long shot bid for president. Yeah, not enough credit is being given to Joe Jorgensen. Of course, you never expect the third-party Libertarian candidate to get a whole lot of airtime and press, but it's worse this year than it was in previous years. In previous years, I mean, everyone knew the write-in last year, and like, you know, the Libertarian candidates, well, not last year, last elections. But this year, like, it's really being suppressed. I do not understand why. Well, actually, I do not understand why. I just don't understand why we tolerate that the third-party Libertarian candidates are never on the debate stage with, you know, the Republicans and Democrats. Like, if Joe Jorgensen were there the other night, she would have won over a lot of votes just by not participating in, like, the old man insanity. But Joe Jorgensen has a really interesting campaign. I don't know that much about her because, again, like, no one is covering her. She's not on the mainstream media. Like, no one cares because this is all about the Trump shit show. You know, this has nothing even to do with Biden. This is just all the crazy, angry idiots being upset about Trump or liking Trump or whatever. It's all about Trump. Nobody cares about anything else. But Libertarian Joe Jorgensen has a pretty interesting campaign put together. Go check her out. They have some excellent social media videos. Not that you can base, you know, facts on political ads, but like she's got some pretty sweet political ads. Very powerful messaging. Might be worth the shot. Again, everybody's saying, you know, oh, it's a throwaway vote. She's not even getting any press. So like, if you vote for her, you're basically stealing a vote from Donald Trump or Joe Biden. You know, I don't necessarily like. Is it a throwaway vote? Yeah. Is she going to win the president? No. But can you really say that you're throwing away your vote if you're voting your conscience and she happens to be it? I don't think you're throwing it away. You're just not voting on a candidate that has a chance to win. And that's unfortunate because I feel like every aspect of what I've seen about Joe Jorgensen so far, if she were in the mainstream press and if she were up on the podium, she would have probably gained a whole lot of traction among all of the midline, center-left, and center-right moderates. She definitely represents sort of the feel group in the middle there between the two, torn between the parties. Wish they would do more on that, but yeah, she's cool. Libertarians always have they're always just ignored, and it's a shame because that's not constitutional. That's not how the system was set up to be. It's not like Republicans and Democrats are supposed to be the two parties of the political system. Riot Heart. Oh, Riot Heart. Oh, he has an opinion on everything, doesn't he? So do I. There's more, much more. But the point here is clear. Donald Trump has a very long history of avoiding direct condemnation of white supremacists and other hate groups while simultaneously saying and doing things that any neutral observer would be forced to conclude are racist. Now, Riot Heart, I'm not going to call you an idiot because you speak all the time. People can watch your stuff and like listen to your vulgarity all the time, just like they listen to mine, and that's fine. But here's a clip.
And as I have said many times before, no matter the color of our skin, we all live under the same laws. We all salute the same great flag. And we are all made by the same Almighty God. We must love each other, show affection for each other, and unite together in condemnation of hatred, bigotry, and violence. We must rediscover the bonds of love and loyalty that bring us together as Americans. Racism is evil, and those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and other hate groups that are repugnant to everything we hold dear as Americans.
And here's another clip.
But they don't report the facts. Just like they don't want to report that I spoke out forcefully against hatred, bigotry, and violence, and strongly condemned the neo-Nazis, the white supremacists, and the KKK.
So good job, Riot Heart, continuing to push your false narratives because you're part of your little Nazi mind control, Antifa BLM crowd trying to rabble-rouse and piss off white supremacists so you can get your Facebook numbers up. That's awesome. I don't blame you. That's what we're all doing, right? But, yeah. Riot Heart, straight up lie. So I'll just have to call you a liar, bud. Riot Heart is a liar. Let's keep on going. Lacey Johnson. Minnesota law strictly prohibits anyone from ballot harvesting. Sign our petition now to investigate Ilhan Omar to help ensure we have a fair process in November. And there's followed with a mime caption thing here that's, well, I guess it's actually a political ad. Ilhan Omar has been implicated in ballot harvesting scandal in Minnesota. Now, is that true? Because this is honestly the first time I've heard about this. So let me check real quick. Ilhan Omar ballot harvesting. Not that Google is really a trustworthy source. So this is so there might be some meat to this bone. We will have to see. But it is a Project Veritas, and they don't do a whole lot of reporting. They just go in and record your ass and bust you wide open. So if it's Project Veritas, there might be the Minneapolis here, the three that pop up on the news top stories. From CBS Minnesota, Project Veritas report claims Ilhan Omar supporters harvested ballots. Syracuse.com, Minneapolis police looking into Project Veritas claims of ballot harvesting tied to Rep. Omar, and the Fulcrum claim Representative Omar connected to illegal Minnesota ballot harvest. Fact check false. So they have a fact check here. So I'm going to click on that and just see what kind of fact check that they have. Just after midnight on Sunday, President Trump retweeted a Breitbart story that included a video from Project Veritas claiming it found Democratic Representative Ilhan Omar is connected to illegal ballot harvesting in Minnesota. The video showed a man named Laban Muhammad talking about the hundreds of ballots he'd collected. However, in Minnesota, ballot harvesting is legal. In August, a district court blocked a Republican effort to end the practice, claiming that more voters having the opportunity to vote did not present a basis for harm. The video claims that there was a scheme to pay voters for their ballots. The video included an anonymous source claiming voters were paid during the August primary. However, there was no further evidence to back that claim, and a spokesperson for Omar told Newsweek that Muhammad does not work for the campaign. So it looks like basically kind of like the fact check the other day with the Tim Allen viral post. It's not that anything that was actually said there was false, patently false. But Tim Allen didn't write it. And in this case, it's like, it's not that they weren't harvesting ballots, but in the state of Minnesota, it's not illegal. So sounds like it might be true, but they're fact checking it false because they're trying to make it look like a crime. I don't know. This is a story I'm just now coming across. I'm just going to let that go on that one. Check it out yourself. I imagine if there is an investigation, this was all 2 days ago. We will find out. I'm looking down the just the Google list here. New York Times Project Veritas video was a coordinated disinformation. The timing of the deceptive video. Blah blah blah. So I'm thinking most likely. Screaming going on up there. Kids doing homework. So I'm thinking basically that this is probably true, but also more just political fodder and not really important. It's just another reason to get everybody all up in arms. Ilhan Omar is a despicable person, in my opinion, and also a very anti-American for being the fact that she is probably the most privileged individual that could possibly be saying the things that she's saying, having come from nothing into everything through the American dream, despite her race and her religion, not holding her back at all, and moving to the very tops of the ranks of power. Sounds pretty much like an American story to me, and I kind of despise her personally. But I don't care because she's not my district, so whatever. So check that out yourself, whether or not that's true. I don't care. Don't care. Derek Sproul writes, it's great to have amazing ideas, but until you execute them, they just take up space in your mind. That is a good quote. Derek Sproul, I like that. That is true. How many of us have had great ideas and, we just, you forget about them or you never implement them? What good is a great idea that never comes out of your mind? And they just take up space in there. Mark Palmer. Oh, Marcus Palmer. A controversial figure on my Facebook feed, to say the least. Pointing out a thief here. Anyone know this thief? Anyone know this thief? The stuff in his pockets with cigars at March Cigar Bar. So, apparently this guy's been stealing cigars down there, and that's a no-no around Mark Palmer. You do not steal cigars, and you do not buy cheap wine. So, if you're stealing cigars, buying cheap wine, then basically Mark Palmer's going to call your ass out on the Facebook. And so there you got the guy here. If anybody knows that guy, give Mark a call, because you don't want the police handling this. You want Marcus Palmer handling this. Keep on scrolling down. Howard Horowitz. Okay, here we have a leftist fanatic. This is from his hometown daily. He may not be playing with the full deck, he says. And then quotes the New York Daily News. Say it plainly, the president is a psychopath. This is one of those guys that just drives you crazy. He's harmless, he's not like an activist or anything, but he's one of these guys that does not know what the hell he's talking about. And I don't think he reads any of these articles. And if he does, he definitely doesn't read opposition articles, because he just buys everything hook, line, and sinker. He's been on my feed for a long time. I don't really take him seriously. But yeah, if you want to get triggered, he's triggered me a couple of times. And I'll click this story here just to see exactly what he's talking about over here. He's talking about the Trump during I know he's talking about the debate, and Trump basically saying that, hey, if this looks like people are stealing ballots, or ballots have been tampered with, or we find ballots dumped into the river or on the side of the road or wherever else, then no, I'm not gonna consider that election to be just sound. I'm going to contest it. And so that was trying, he's a psychopath. Yeah, he's a psychopath. You're a fucking psychopath. Look at you. This is all you do all day long, is just freak out about the big orange man. While you're living it up. Get rid of the ballots or there won't be a transfer, said Donald Trump on Wednesday. This comment is a direct and dangerous expression of his anti-democratic intention. If unstopped, Trump may well destroy our 244-year-old democracy. Yeah. So this is why people like Howard lose their minds, because they fill it with things like this, and then they go out and tell people, and people get mad at them or agree with them. Either way, it's just you're arguing over stupid shit. So argue over stupid shit, that's fine. That's what Facebook is for, right? Facebook is a joke. Treat it like one. Jim Butta, question of the day: will you be watching the debate tonight? Why or why not? This was a few days ago. The answer for me was yes. I did watch the debate. We hosted it here on GTTV, and I've got a copy. You can go check it out. We did not comment on it. We had a commentary afterwards, which I'll probably put into a separate segment, just so that I can have that. See, scrolling on down. Elijah O'Neill here with some music. Let's see what he's listening to. This is a young lady named Catherine Hansberry. So that's WAP in the style of Hobo Johnson. At least she gets it here, because nothing fucking matters. Go like my band Honey Dick. So if you like that kind of shit, go like Honey Dick. Not my flavor. But, you know, hey. This is the kind of music Biden supporters probably play and listen to. And that, I'm just being real with that. But thanks to David O'Neill. I like that. Good to go. Moving on down. Chelsea Ryan says, some of y'all never learned about filing an open records request or about the Freedom of Information Act, and it really shows. Keep sharing Facebook memes about current events, though. Yeah, because Chelsea goes out there and files Freedom of Information Act records request anytime that she posts on Facebook. That's fine. Sean Burton Saunders replies, I just don't care anymore about social media. People need to put the phones down and talk again. It's stupid. Amen, Sean. I agree with you 100%, buddy. It's full of hypocrites. This being a prime example of it. Yeah, like people. It's social media. Even if you did fact check it, who cares? Because it's social media. Nothing important happens there. It's all stupid, and it's full of stupid people. So, like, you could say you could say that the Earth is round, and you'll have a bunch of idiots trying to say that it's flat. So, like, it's Facebook. Facebook is a joke. Treat it like one. But yeah, that's what we're doing here, Sean. So that's why I'm going through. And instead of like commenting on all the things that like irritate me or that I like on the Facebook, I'm just making a video about it and talking shit. So, you know, I wish more people would do this. I'd be more entertained, I think. But maybe I'm completely boring to most of you. But to my two fans out there, you know I love you guys. I got to come up with a name for you two, my two fans. I need some sort of like clever name. Old Alan Ashbow out there. Check out his stuff. He's a cool guy. I'm not going to play his video. He gets a little long-winded. Oh, he's taking his shirt off. Okay, let's play it.
Alright. It is raining like cats and dogs here. They're just so good out here. Just so everybody knows, I said this on the Alan Ashbaugh Presents page. Speaking for County Line, speaking for Alan Ashbaugh Presents, speaking for Metal Fest, I want to tell everybody, SWP, Shoot Joint Revival, Devada, Brandon Cox came out here Saturday for the Baca Poker Run and killed it. They killed it. Every single one of them was on point. SWP destroyed this fucking place. Baca in the house and loved it. Shoot Joint Revival on the other stage killed it. The locals love some JJR. That bluesy rock, man, that kills it.
So that's my boy, Alan Ashbow. Check him out. Also, he's the founder of Metal Fest. It's a metal festival that raises pretty much 100% of the proceeds outside of, cost, I think, to cancer. He's not paying for you to get cancer. It goes to cancer research and helping people that have cancer. So it's a very cool thing. And now he's involved in this other thing. I can't remember what he called it there, but there's a new venue out there. Check it out. Check out Alan Ashbaugh Metal Fest. I'm pretty sure you can find this place. My friend Derek Sproul recently did a video for them. We'll probably run across that here and come up with that name. Something Junction. Anyway, keep on rolling down here. National Sons Day. Look at that guy. This is interesting. From Jack Tarr, Pastor Jeremiah Stopek transformed himself into a homeless person and went to the 10,000 member church that he was to be introduced as the head pastor at that morning. He walked around his soon-to-be church for 30 minutes while it was filling with people for service, and only 3 people out of the 7,000 to 10,000 people said hello to him. He asked people for change to buy food. No one in the church gave him change. He went to the sanctuary to sit down in the front of the church and was asked by the usher if he would please sit in the back. He greeted people to be greeted back with stares and dirty looks, with people looking down on him and judging him. As he sat in the back of the church, he listened to the church announcements and such. And when all that was done, the elders went up and were excited to introduce the new pastor of the church to the congregation. We would like to introduce to you Pastor Jeremiah Stepek. The congregation looked around, clapping with joy and anticipation. The homeless man sitting in the back stood up and started walking down the aisle. The clapping stopped with all eyes on him. He walked up to the altar and took the microphone from the elders who were in on this and paused for a moment, and then he recited, quote, "Then the king will say to those on his right, 'Come, you who are blessed by my Father. Take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me.' And then the righteous will answer him, 'Lord, when did we see you hungry or feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you stranger and invite you in, or needing clothes to clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go visit you?' The king will reply, 'Truly I tell you, whatever you did for me, for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me.' And after he recited this, he looked towards the congregation and told them all what he had experienced that morning. Many began to cry, and many heads were bowed in shame. He then said, 'Today I see a gathering of people, not a church of Jesus Christ. The world has enough people, but not enough disciples. When will you decide to become a disciple?' He then dismissed service until the next week. Being a Christian is more than something you claim. It is something you live by and share with others." That is a cool story. Don't know if it's true because so much on Facebook is fake everything, but that is a clever. I like that. I like that. The pastor dressing up as a homeless man and then being treated like crap at his new church, and then revealing himself, and then basically that's the sermon. That's nice. I like that. Keep scrolling on down. I decide what I wear in Arabic. Okay. Steve Sturgill writes, "The right. Nazis were socialists. It's right there in the name. Also the right. Anti-fascists are the real fascists." Both of those are true. Good job, Steve. I know he meant it in the opposite way. But yeah, those are actually, yeah, that's the right does think that the Nazis were socialists because they were. And the anti-fascists, they also think that they're fascists because they dress like Nazis, and they are. Andrew Redmond writes, "Orwellian doublespeak. People are stupid." Amen, Andrew. Zachary Kendall writes, "Canada probably feels like they live in the apartment above a meth lab right about now." Yeah, I'm sure they do. All of the meth, I'm sure. Yeah, probably coming from like Chicago and New York and all the cities where all of the liberals are like smoking meth out of their pipes. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Noel Bound says, "So Trump was just given an opportunity to denounce the KKK and the Proud Boys, and he totally didn't. He was literally told the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by. What in the actual?" Well, Noel, again, you could check out that video.
In one voice, our nation must condemn racism, bigotry, and white supremacy.
And you could also do some research on the Proud Boys and realize that they are not a white supremacist organization, and that by conflating the KKK with the Proud Boys, you're basically doing exactly what Goebbels would have done, and it makes you pretty much everything that you say you hate. But Noel, I don't expect anything more, honestly, because you always write stuff like this, so who cares? Oh, back to Howard Harowitz. Awesome here. People worry that moderate Democrats are the same as Republicans. Our studies show they're right. You know what? And so do mine. I think that is absolutely true. Moderate Democrats are the same as Republicans because, like, basically, nobody wants the left. Like, nobody wants it except for inner city people that are basically violent, poor, smell bad, live bad, angry, and all the other things that come along with these people. If you've ever spent much time around them, it is what it is. Not going to say one thing or the other about it, but like I say in many of my videos regarding, how I feel about the left and like why I don't really listen to a whole lot of what they say anymore, it's because I look at their lives, I look at the fruit of their labor, and then it's like, what do I care what you say? Obviously, it's not working for you, so why would I apply it to my own life? But yeah, Howard, I think you have a right to be afraid. America is not on your side. They do not agree with you. You keep claiming that you know that you're the majority and you're all this. Yeah, the cities might be the majority, but the states reject you. The Constitution rejects you, or at least the constitutional electoral process. Now we'll see in November. Maybe you'll switch the other way. We do not know what will happen, but I'm pretty sure that you're right there. That in general, people are going to turn right before they're going to turn left if they have any sort of like property, job, family, or security. They are not going to want you to come and like trample all over it and turn it into a shit show like they do in downtown Louisville and downtown Portland and everywhere else. Like, yeah, nobody wants that. 95% of the rest of the country isn't dealing with that crap, and they vote for Trump. So, hey. John McConnell writes, can someone tell me my Trump signing an EO yesterday protecting pre-existing conditions got almost zero coverage, and why the left is still running ads falsely saying that he was trying to eliminate that protection? I'll tell you why. Because they're fucking idiots. They're fucking idiots. Jesse Everdejo, this is my brother-in-law here. When you start your new job and they ask how much in taxes you want taken out, it shows the black guy turning into Trump. Yeah, he's a big proponent of the flat tax, and you know, I can get that. You know, the flat tax is something that has never really been debunked in my mind as a perfectly reasonable alternative to the current IRS tax code. But I don't know. It's going to take a lot of steam to get there. It's going to take more than Facebook moms. Maxwell Mitchell. This is a guy that I quite respect. He's been covering the BLM movement and all of that's going on here in Louisville. Definitely we have different political ideologies, I guess, if you will. But whereas I don't really respect Riot Hard as any sort of like, you know, he's not an agent of change. He's a rabble rouser. He's more like me in that end. Maxwell Mitchell is a true gentleman, a scholar, and a true journalist as far as all this goes. True citizen journalist. Yvette Gentry, he writes, Yvette Gentry is getting sworn in today as chief of police. She has chosen to take the role for 6 months. This will make not only the first woman to take the role, but the first black woman. Please join me for a special Facebook Live this Friday at 6 p.m. as I ask her a few questions about her plans and thoughts on the protest. Mayor Fisher's thoughts on Chief Schroeder's tenure. Mayor Fisher and her thoughts on Chief Schroeder's tenure, particularly during the protests and more. So that'll be interesting. I'll try to. Actually, you know what? I'm doing a show tomorrow. I will not be able to tune into that, but I will go back and watch it. Excellent job, Maxwell. You're doing it right. Maven Avila writes, honestly, can y'all imagine a King of the Hill episode about COVID? The guys are pissed off that they can't see sports, and Hank's job is in jeopardy because people can't have cookouts, so they aren't buying propane and propane accessories. And Bobby gets obsessed with TikTok during quarantine while Peggy struggles to school him from home. And Dale goes full doomsday and starts hoarding and going off about conspiracy theories like 5G. And Cotton ultimately catches COVID because he won't wear a mask. Yes, Maven, actually... they should bring back King of the Hill just to make that episode, because we would all watch it, and we would all laugh, and we would all buy propane and propane accessories because of it. Scrolling on down here. Aaron Bibblehauser writes, not even once during this debate has the president attempted to speak directly to the American people. Never looked at the camera. Not once did he offer anything that resembles a message of unity, hope, equity, justice, or peace. Oh, you poor bastard. All right, keep scrolling. What is this? Bobby Wally. Good Lord. Oh, he's got some stuff going on. Bobby Wally grew up in the same town I did. He became a lawyer. And, I was pointing out some of the hypocrisies here. On 11/12/2012, Slate wrote, five very good reasons to keep the Electoral College. And you can see, and then the the same publication in 2016, the Electoral College is an instrument of white supremacy and sexism. See the next one here. Slate wrote, it's wrong to blame Somali Americans for the Ohio State attack. And then, after Christchurch, we need more blame, not less. First of all, anybody that listens to Slate for anything, that's like, just go to Facebook. I mean, really, like, if you just want to be uneducated and just have fun and do memes, like, read Slate or just go to Facebook. But, like, that's not news. Never has been. CNN Politics, Trump's baseless wiretap claim. That was 2017 in March. Donald Trump just flat out lied about Trump Tower wiretapping. That's Tuesday, September 5th, 17. And then exclusive, U.S. government wiretap former Trump campaign chairman in September of 2000. A few days later, like 2 weeks later. Yeah, I know. Fake news. Yeah. CNN is kind of like Slate. All of them are. Philly.com writes in January 2017, Trump said Philly's murder rate is terribly increasing. It's not. And then in December, they write, as most crime decreases, Philly records highest year-end homicide total since 2012. I mean, what can you say? Oh, here we go. NBC, they write about George Floyd. Beautiful, peaceful, and diverse. Thousands of protesters flood streets near the White House. And then they write, extraordinarily dangerous. Trump rally draws grave concerns from top health officials. Yeah, I bet they did. God, people are so stupid. It really, like, you know, for those of you that know exactly who you are and you know that, like, I think you're an idiot, like, I even think so more now that you're an idiot just because, like, you're an idiot. You're fucking dumb. Metro, the support for our Trump baby balloon has been so massive we're going global. And then Metro writes, flying the Sadiq Khan balloon is not an exercise of free speech. It is a party for bigots. So, Trump balloon, good. Sadiq Khan balloon, bad. Good job, Metro. Keeping your story straight there. Oh, Yahoo. Okay, Yahoo. Now, Yahoo is again, go to Facebook because Yahoo is completely fake news. Like, in every sense of the word, like, there is no credibility left. Like, it is strictly just a leftist sounding board for, like, the people that could never make it anywhere else in media, and so, like, they just kind of settled down to the bottom there, and Yahoo just collected them like feces. Yahoo Finance says in September of 2020 that Kamala Harris may have made Timberland's boots cool again. And they wrote in 2018, 2 years before, that Melania Trump gets mocked for wearing Timberland boots while visiting the troops. Yeah, good job, Yahoo, because that's what we care about. CNN. An 11-year-old white girl is charged with a hate crime after a 10-year-old African-American girl was subjected to racially motivated language and a black eye, police said Monday. Then there's another story from CNN. A white Arkansas man is facing up to 20 years in prison after being found guilty in the beating of an African-American man during racially charged protests last summer in Charlottesville, Virginia. Then they write, a white teen who allegedly plotted to attack a historically black church in Georgia with knives is facing a charge of criminal attempt to commit murder and has not been charged with a hate crime. And then CNN writes, police have charged a 25-year-old white man with police have charged a 25-year-old man with first-degree murder after they say he shot and killed a 5-year-old boy last week in Wilson, North Carolina. That was a black man killing a white kid. So, yeah, of course you see the hypocrisy there on CNN. What do you expect? That's how you get people like Howard Horowitz on Facebook believing all the things they believe and then going out and saying stupid things and wondering, you know, why they feel the way they do. That's because if you actually try to read any of this and make sense of it, you will go completely insane. all you can do is just basically just regurgitate and just hope for the best. But if you try to use your reasoning or your brain or your sense for any of this lefty bullshit, you're just going to win Trump the election. Time magazine wrote on June 13th in the morning, physicians have joined protests in cities across the country, and an open letter signed by 1,200 health professionals says protests should not be shut down over fears of COVID-19 transmission. They then write about 12 hours later, hundreds of far-right protesters defy COVID-19 restrictions to demonstrate in London. God, people are dumb. And then you have a picture of a dude standing here with a microphone, his gas mask, and his freaking like bike goggles on. And it says fiery but mostly peaceful protest after police shooting, and like the whole background is just in flames. Looks like a hellscape. The mostly peaceful protest. That's like mostly peaceful serial killers, right? Aren't most serial killers mostly peaceful? Shouldn't we call like mostly serial killers like mostly non-violent people? Because like most of the people that they see, they don't actually serial kill, so they're mostly peaceful, right? Yeah, that's lefty thinking for you. That's the people that vote for Biden. That's the people that vote for Kamala, the narc. Basically, the party of the white supremacy and the party of the police state. That would be Joe Biden, anti-desegregationalist, racist, white supremacist in history for 47 years. And Kamala Harris, the narc that throws her own people in prison and supports basically the super predator idea of just locking people away for everything. Yeah, that's the Democratic Party. And we all know that. So, man, let's not act surprised. All right, CNN here again. This is April 4th, 2017. Everyone should have a shot at a paid family leave. Then they write, in May, Trump's budget is to include paid family leave. And then later in May, how paid family leave hurts women. It's like a construction zone up here. You know, we're building out up there, and things are going on. So you hear the banging and all this stuff. That's what it is. Banging, vacuuming, shop vacs are running. Getting this place in order. The National Review writes, May 15th, 2018, Israel has the right and obligation to defend its border with deadly force. And then they write again in October, it's time to calm down about the caravan. These are two NBC News reports taken just an hour apart from each other. One says a rally for Black trans lives draws packed crowd to Brooklyn Museum Plaza. A rally for Black trans lives draws a packed crowd to museum. Okay, they're both say the same thing. As Americans come together at Black Lives Matter protests around the country, activists has also put a lens on the lives of Black trans people. Then an hour later, they write, President Trump plans to rally his supporter next Saturday for the first time since most of the country was shuttered by the coronavirus, but health experts are questioning that decision. I'm concerned about our ability to protect anyone who attends a large indoor event, and I'm also concerned about our ability to ensure the president stays safe. Oh, brilliant. FBI forced to debunk conspiracy theory that Antifa extremists set fires in Oregon. And then, breaking news, Portland police arrested a man today suspected of starting a brush fire using Molotov cocktails. Firefighters extinguished the grass fire before it could spread further. Oh, okay. And then, so they get the guy. You know, this is the conspiracy theory that Antifa extremists set fires in Oregon, which they did. Breaking news. So after they catch the guy, within hours after being released for allegedly starting a brush fire in Portland using Molotov cocktails, Domingo Lopez Jr. allegedly started 6 more fires along the west side of the I-205 freeway and has been arrested again. Vote for Biden. You know where he's voting for. You got another guy here at a headline from Minneapolis. Shows a hellscape of burning buildings behind this man, And you can see saying, these are peaceful protests, as you can see. And then the headline at the bottom says, police station and other buildings burning in Minneapolis. Health experts say, this is on, what this is. This might be Fox News. Yeah, this is Fox News. Health experts say you should still close your businesses and stay indoors unless it's to protest. Anyway, okay, that's enough of these. That's awesome. Thanks, Bobby. There's like hundreds of these. Like somebody should start a website of like all of just the hypocrisy and stupidity and proven fake news that's going on. And yet you still have people that get on here. They were all Biden supporters. Imagine that. And they were really Bernie supporters before that. The best and brightest of us. What is this here? Greece gets a meth update. Thank you, Denny. R.D. Miller. Okay, here we go. This is another leftist that has shit to show for it. Maybe I'm alone on this, but I don't think being a good debater has anything to do with being a good POTUS. I think when good president makes a decision, and nearly every decision a president makes is complicated, they assemble a team of experts in that field, listen carefully, and make studied decision based on all the information he can get. A winner in a debate usually comes up with a quick soundbite retort, which in the long run is pretty meaningless. Reagan pretty much assured victory with his reply about his age. It was a good line, but did that mean he'd be a better president because of it? And JFK won the first TV debate because he looked like a movie star, while Nixon looked creepy. That's true. That's true. Yeah, I can't really argue with that. RD usually says some pretty asinine things, but that you know, hey, whatever. I don't even sure really what the point he's trying to make is, other than the debate is really meaningless. Like the debate is like a pep rally at school. Like the only people that are swayed by the debates are people that aren't aware of the facts and issues going into it, that don't pay attention. It's for the non-politicos. Like, the politicos already know what's going on. They've been following the news. They've not been following Facebook. They're not reading people's stupid posts about, like, their fucking ideas and opinions and their little snippets of moms from CNN and MSLSD and all the other freaking news channels. They're actually, you know, paying attention. So the debate to them really means nothing. And even to the public that is swayed by presidential debates, they're not the best and brightest. I'm sorry, but they're not. They're the reality TV moms, and they're like they're people that watch adult cartoons all the time. Like, if you're persuaded by the debate as to who you're going to vote for, basically your vote it doesn't come from a place of sound logic or understanding of the issues. It's just an emotional appeal. That's my opinion on the matter. Thank you, RD. Michael Mullen, Democrats will stop at nothing to set up their one world government, but they can't do it with Trump in the White House. No, they cannot. Boy, oh boy, they're finding thrown away Trump ballots everywhere now. California, Texas, Pennsylvania. How does the U.S. Post Office explain it? They don't. The thing is, like, I don't even think it matters, because so many people are going to vote for Trump. I mean, throw away his fucking ballots. At the end of the day, this is why he will not concede the election until it has been thoroughly contested and gone through the court system, because this is going to count. And you're going to be, you leftists are going to be, oh, he's trying to be a Nazi and stay in office. No, you try to be a Nazi and throw his freaking ballots into the fucking river. Because you can't win fair and square. You cannot win fair and square. You have to rely on people being stupid or stealing from them. You cannot rationally win the argument. You simply cannot, because your facts are so convoluted, as we just saw in some of the early things, that you don't even know what the hell's going on. You're not that bright. Some true facts, good read. I like that picture though. Cheryl Cameron. Dude has been in office for 3 years. What has he done other than dodging the darts the media and Pelosi have thrown? What have President Trump and his cabinet accomplished? Here you go. Trump recently signed 3 bills to benefit Native people. One gives compensation to the Spokane tribe for loss of their lands in the mid-1900s. No Democrat did that. One funds native language programs, and the third gives facial recognition to the Little Shell tribe, or gives federal recognition to the Little Shell tribe of Chippewa Indians in Montana. So he gave them reparations for the land that was stolen from them. He funded their native language. What happened to being a white supremacist and you can't speak your language here because we're all racist? What happened to that? And also federally acknowledges a tribe that the Democrats didn't give a shit about. Trump finalized the creation of Space Force as our 6th military branch. Trump signed a law to make cruelty to animals a federal felony so that animal abusers face tougher consequences. Oh, the left has to be pissed about that because, boy, did they want that one. Except for their politicians can't do shit, so all the kitty lovers, guess you got to vote for Trump now because he saved the cats. Violent crime has fallen every year he's been in office after rising during the first 2 years before he was elected. Trump signed a bill making CBD and hemp legal. Trump's EPA gave $100 million to fix the water infrastructure problem in Flint, Michigan. Oh, imagine that. Remember all that? Flint, Michigan, the water, Obama, nobody did shit, nobody cared. Trump fixed it. Oh, good job, Trump. Maybe people in Michigan will vote for Trump. Maybe the polls are stupid just like their mainstream news programs. Maybe they're wrong. Under Trump leadership, in 2018, the U.S. surpassed Russia and Saudi Arabia to become the world's largest producer of crude oil. Trump signed a law ending the gag orders on pharmacists that prevented them from sharing money-saving information. Trump signed the Allow States and Victims to Fight Online Sex Trafficking Act, which includes the Stop Enabling Sex Traffickers Act, which both give law enforcement and victims new tools to fight sex trafficking. Oh, who was it that was doing all of the sex trafficking and child pedophilia? Oh, the Democrats. Epstein, who do you think he voted for? Was he a Trump supporter? Who was on his plane? Was that Trump or Bill Clinton? Oh, he had a picture with Trump, right? Oh, Trump signed a bill to require airports to provide spaces for breastfeeding moms. Who gives a shit about moms, right? Republicans. The 25% lowest paid Americans enjoyed a 4.5% income boost in November 2019, which outpaces a 2.9% gain in earnings for the country's highest paid workers. Who do you think some of those lowest paid workers are? What color do you think they are? I mean, the Democrats focus solely on the color of your skin and not the content of your character. So if you're a liberal and a lefty, you know good and well with that who that's talking about, right? 25% of the lowest paid Americans enjoyed a 4.5% income boost in just November alone. Low-wage workers are benefiting from higher minimum wages and from corporations that are increasing entry-level pay. Trump signed the biggest wilderness protection and conservation bill in a decade and designated 375,000 acres of protected land. What happened to all of these lefty idiots that keep propagating all of this nonsense about Trump's destroying the environment, Trump is taking away all the rainforest, Trump. How many acres of new federal land did Obama designate as federally protected? What did he do for conservation? Go do your little fact checks. You're gonna be going down, Facebook looking for them, I'm sure, because God knows you don't know how to look up an actual news source. Trump signed the Save Our Seas Act, which funds $10 million per year to clean tons of plastic and garbage from the ocean. You've all seen Trash Island, right? The big island of trash floating around out there for 5 presidential administrations now. Well, guess who's he's fixing it. Guess who's out there getting the trash? Trump. He signed a bill this year allowing some drug imports from Canada so that prescription prices would go down. Oh, what was he saying during the debate the other night? Oh, we don't need to do all this healthcare stuff and fund more and all this crap with healthcare and totally disassemble Obamacare anymore. Why don't we just drive prices down, create competition that drives down price so that you don't need all of that because it's cheap. That's what he was trying to communicate, and guess what? That's what he's doing. He's not making promises. He's actually doing it. So he's already brought some of the prices down on prescription drugs by allowing Canada to be a competitor in our monopolistic marketplace. Trump signed an executive order this year that forces all healthcare providers to disclose the cost of their services so that Americans can comparison shop and know how much less providers charge insurance companies. When signing that bill, he said no Americans should be blindsided by bills for medical services they never agreed to in advance. So, we all remember the days of, I mean, we've all, if you're an adult and you're not like, 18 years old and you've had any sort of medical things in your past, like up until now, you go to the doctor, they do whatever they do, you get a test, they get an MRI, whatever they do, and then they send you home, and then all of a sudden you receive a bill for $4,000 freaking dollars, and you're like, holy sh. Well, Trump is making it so that they have to disclose to you the price of the services so that you at least know what you're going to be paying for. Those fucking Republicans. God, they're so white supremacist. Hospitals will now be required to post their standard charges for services, which include the discounted price a hospital is willing to accept. In 8 years prior to President Trump's inauguration, prescription drug prices increased by an average of 3.6% per year. Under Trump, drug prices have seen year-over-year declines in 9 of the 10 last months, with a 1.1% drop as of the most recent month. He created a White House VA hotline to help veterans and principally staffed it with veterans and direct family members of veterans. Oh, imagine that. VA employees are being held accountable for poor performance, with more than 4,000 VA employees removed, demoted, and suspended so far. If you don't have any veterans in your family, you're probably just totally out of touch with the whole veterans thing and just posting and reposting memes from the internet. But if you are at all aware of what's been going on for the past decades with the VA, it is a complete shit show. It is a ripoff. It is a treacherous, deceitful, crappy system that has harmed veterans in so many ways, made it very difficult for anything to happen. It's been bureaucratic nonsense. And guess who's fixing it? Trump. And what's he doing? Who's he staffing it with? Veterans. People that actually know what the hell they're talking about, that actually know who they're serving. And who's he firing? All the people that do bad things. All the people that got away with it for decades. Now they're not allowed to work there anymore. Oh. Imagine that. Because of a bill signed and championed by Trump in 2020, most federal employees will see their pay increase by an average of 3.1%, the largest raise in more than 10 years. Trump signed into law up to 12 weeks of paid parental leave for millions of federal workers. Trump administration will provide HIV prevention drugs for free to 200,000 uninsured patients per year for 11 years. We had all-time record sales during the 2019 holidays. The holidays are the time when you really get to see the economy in motion practically, because people have money to spend or they don't have money to spend. And 2019 broke records on that. Trump signed an order allowing small businesses to group together when buying insurance to get a better price. So you see all these things. I mean, insurance and healthcare is something that he has been addressing seriously, and in ways that are practical to Democrats, Republicans, it does not matter who you are. Rather than having Obamacare, where basically like the government just subsidizes whatever insane prices that these companies just attach, they invent out of thin air to improve their margins, to make profits for their shareholders. Trump is undermining that in virtually every way. He's introducing competition from outside of the U.S. That was just driving down the prices of the drugs. He's enforcing transparency in the medical system so that you have a clear idea of what your costs are going to be, and you can select your services based on those prices. And then in addition to that, he's allowing businesses to group together so that they can basically get a lower rate for insurance for their employees, which drives down costs, raises the profitability of those companies, and allows more people to be insured under their umbrella at a lower cost. Yeah. That's a Republican idea. Very conservative. Move some things around. Not sure exactly where I left off here. Maybe I should stop, because like this list goes on and on and on. Look at that. Look at that. These are all the things Trump has done, and it's just like the rest of the list. Again, leftists lie. They don't understand what they're talking about. I use the term educated idiots a lot, and I'm not saying that these people are stupid. They're just in a thought bubble. They're everything that they accuse you of. If they call you a racist and a white supremacist, guess what? I mean, we all learned this in school, right? Like, you know, whatever you say bounces back off of me and sticks to you. That's what this is. I mean, that's what you're seeing. So if you've got somebody that runs up to you and it's like, you're a racist, you're a white supremacist. Guess who the racist or white supremacist is? It's pretty obvious, right? If someone says, "Oh, you're evil. You're a bad person. You don't like black people. You have a problem with black people." Guess who probably has a problem with black people? So, I mean, that's just how it is. That's how the world works. That's how people work, especially in the lesser half of, you know, the intelligence ratios that, you know, whatever this country is made up of. It's not the most educated country in the world, obviously. And a lot of the education in this country is left-leaning, which means like it undermines its own education with basically non-objective, subjective ideologies and lunacy. But that's okay. That's okay, right? You get a degree, you get to hang it on your wall. I went to school. I went to college. You know, I saw it. Not a very impressive bunch of people at the liberal arts universities, and there are some excellent professors, there are some excellent teachers, but when you look at the body politic, it just doesn't really fan out. It's like, what did you pay all that money for? What were you paying for? This is the education you got? You basically come out here and make yourself look stupid every single day. Andrew S. Coulter, vote old Greg. I know what you're thinking. Here comes old Greg. He's a scaly manfish. You don't know me. You don't know what I got. I got something to show you. 2020. I don't know what the hell that is. He's talking about Greg Fisher. I don't know. I guess I'm missing out on that there. The joke went over my head. Imagine that. What people think when I say I'm a country music fan. But this is what I actually mean. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, it's got Willie Nelson, Christopherson, Johnny Cash, Merle Haggard. I like that. Tara Knight says, rewatching the Chappelle Show while at work because my clients have a safe space to laugh during crazy times. I'm glad they have a safe space. Those poor babies. They were so unsafe. Chris Maggard got another film coming up. Daughter, looks like. Not like posting stuff off of the group chats, because those are just even worse than the regular Facebook feed. Katie did it. Condemn white supremacists or draw 25. The funny thing is, though, that Trump can condemn white supremacists. Oh, wait, watch this video.
Sinister ideologies must be defeated. Hate has no place in America. Hatred warps the mind, ravages the heart, and devours the soul. We have asked the FBI to identify all further resources they need to investigate and disrupt hate crimes and domestic terrorism, whatever they need.
But he can condemn white supremacists, draw 25, and still beat you at your game of Uno. Must drive you insane. Some chili coming up. Give me some of that chili now. I'll take some of that chili now. Robin Hood gives money to a peasant. Peasant, yay, I'm rich. Robin Hood, you're what? Like, if you know it is, share if you ever used one. I'm not sure what that is. It's not I don't know what that is. Sure, somebody does though. Okie Benton writes, if there were good cops, they'd be loud as fuck about all the shit that led to Breonna Taylor being murdered, would distance themselves from that shit. I'm listening. Awful quiet. That's because, Okie Benton, nobody knows who the fuck you are, and no one's listening. Roscoe Gordon, one race, human. Agreed, sir. Thank you. That's a very Trump position. That is a very conservative position, and I like it. One race, human. Absolutely. Amen. James Stapleton has all the different types of apples here. I guess too, from most tart to the most sweet. Interesting. Interesting. William McKean, Christmas will be here before you know it. Since I'm always trying to build my vinyl collection, the boys have asked me for my wish list. He's asking for modernism is the work of Satan. Let me touch him. Wankas, stuffed Christ, crushed Jesus, and hotline to heaven. Aaron Conway. Okay, here we go. Here's another lefty that doesn't really know his ass from his peckerwood. The Commission on Presidential Debates said Wednesday it's planning unspecified changes to its format for the two remaining debates between President Trump and Joe Biden in order to ensure a more orderly discussion of the issues. Biden should have said, hell no. No, Biden's winning, you know. Biden doesn't care, right? He's so far ahead, he's got like a 95% chance of winning at this point, right? Yeah. No, Biden has to say yes because, as always with the Democrats, if you have to change the rules to win. It's called cheating in most sports. Like, we all deal with Democrats when we were 5 years old. They're just the 5-year-olds that never grew up. That like, I can't win. Okay, so from now on, okay, the rules now are you have to give 5 seconds before you start tagging people. And you're like, what? That's not the rules. You can't just change the rules halfway into the game because like you're losing. So yeah, because we all want to hear what Biden has to say, right? Because like nobody knows what he's going to say, right? It's not like he's just going to be like, and it just and look like he's going to cry. Wasn't that the expression of Biden the other night? Like the whole debate. So you want to hear what he has to say? Yeah, I guess then you have to mute Trump's microphone, right? So again, leftists want to silence, so shut him up, cut off his mic, then Biden maybe can win. Who knows? Yeah, you can't treat Biden like he's a big boy in big boy pants. He's an old school white supremacist, like real white supremacy. Again, the left has stolen all meaning from words like racist, white supremacist, because they apply it to just anyone that they disagree with. Meanwhile, they have a literal white supremacist, an anti-desegregationist. Joe Biden voted against schools having black kids in the same school as white kids. He did not want your kids drinking out of the same water fountain. Joe Biden has 47 years of history as an old school Southern style Democrat. And yeah, but we're going to call Trump the white supremacist, right? Why aren't we asking the actual person with the record of white supremacy to condemn white supremacy? You know why we don't? Because everyone knows what Biden will say. I condemn white supremacy. Yeah, just like Bill Clinton said, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. And Richard Nixon said, I am not a crook. Of course he'll say it. Because Biden is an old school politician. He'll say any fucking thing. As long as you don't let a black kid into his house, he doesn't care. He'll say he loves black kids all day. I mean, that's just him. So, yeah, like it would matter a whole lot. Why do we ask Trump? Because he at least typically means what he says. He's at least going to try to say what he means. And the man has said multiple times that he wholeheartedly condemns white supremacy, that he condemns the Klan, that he condemns David Duke. And then, you try to bait him on the stage to, like, condemn something, but you're not going to ask the other guy to condemn the other thing. And then he's like, okay, well, yeah, stand by Proud Boys, which aren't even white supremacists. So, like, how they got thrown into this group anyway. The frickin' chairman of the Proud Boys is a Cuban black Latino. But anyway, One-sided question. Ask the one guy. Ask Trump if to condemn white supremacy. Don't ask Biden because, for one, we already know his record, so we know that he's a white supremacist, and we also know that he'll deny it. So who cares? Why would you ask him? You already know what the old man's going to say. Trump, it's like, he's not going to be baited into your bullshit question, because the real question is about the people burning down the cities, the real terrorists in the streets, the real people causing damage, mayhem, murder in the streets. They aren't white supremacists, folks. Where's the white supremacist? Where's the white supremacist? You see white supremacists burning down buildings? No, those are fascists. Those are Antifa fascists. Those are Nazis. Those are the real Nazis. Gavin Kelly writes, first presidential debate was a shit show. We can all agree on that. Cheater Joe Biden wore a wire. Had notes at the podium. Wallace is a hardcore Democrat. Both him and Biden against Trump. They need a non-Democrat and non-Republican as a moderator. Needed to shut off the mics if it wasn't their turn to talk. But knowing Wallace, he would mute Trump and Democratic tag team last night was 100% bullshit. I agree, Gavin. I don't know that he wore a wire or that he had notes on his podium. That you might be right. I'm not fact-checking that right now. I know that he refused a drug test and he refused to be inspected for a wire, for an earpiece. But I totally agree. Chris Wallace is obviously a Democrat. He obviously doesn't like Trump. But again, who cares? The Trump base is like on fire. Trump base is strong. It's stronger than it was in 2016. Like, we all feel it this time. I mean, we just feel it. I mean, I wasn't a Trump supporter in 2016. I was just anti-Hillary. I'm a Trump supporter, and there's so many people like me that were on the fence. And you can just feel it seething under the surface. Like, the last time just calling us baskets of deplorables brought out, the red wave. Now you're calling them racist, Nazis. Like, can you imagine, like, the statement that's going to be made this election? It's going to be so glorious. Or Trump will lose, and the leftists will basically eat themselves, and everyone's life and quality of life will go down. Their taxes will go up. All of my leftist friends will be living on the streets from the shitty apartments they're in now, and I'll probably have to pay a little bit more taxes and maybe get an extra room in the house. Ladies, you never knew this is what John the Baptist could have looked like. Been in the wilderness and all, chopping wood and praying. John Harris writes, prick. P-R-I-C-K. Well, guess what? You know what we were just saying about people that call people things? He might be a prick. Or, I mean, he might have a problem with, lowercase prick. Who knows? This guy represents only the worst of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Kentucky Representative Thomas Massey votes against resolution affirming peaceful transition of power. Let's see what that is, because I have not heard this story yet. Kentucky Representative Thomas Massey voted Tuesday night against a House resolution to reaffirm the Chamber's commitment to a peaceful transition of power called for in the Constitution. Massey was one of 5 Republican representatives to vote nay on the resolution, which states the House intends that there should be no disruptions by the President or of any person in power to overturn the will of the people of the United States. The resolution passed 397 to 5, and the Senate unanimously passed a similar resolution last week. Both resolutions come after President Donald Trump refused to commit to a peaceful transition if he loses the election, which he has not said anything about not having a peaceful transition. He simply said that he will not concede if there's any sign whatsoever of voter fraud, ballots being thrown out on the side of the road or anything like that, which is exactly what's already happening. So we already know it's going to happen because leftists can't win without cheating. They're throwing Trump ballots everywhere off the side of the road and into the river. So they've guaranteed their worst case scenario. That's fine though, because Trump will have plenty of ballots to spare. But yeah, I mean, I will agree there, bud. That's pretty shitty. That should not be necessary. He might be a prick. Never seen him before. There will be a peaceful transition of power. The Constitution ain't going anywhere. if Trump loses the election fair and square and the court upholds it, he'll be out. Like, stop fear-mongering and acting so scared. You fucking pussies. You fucking pussies. God, the left is such a pathetic bunch of people. Get in your safe space. Get in your safe spaces. Yeah, move to Canada. What happened to that? Aren't you supposed to be moving to Canada? Weren't you supposed to leave in 2016? Why are you still here? There's plenty of safe spaces up there. They're all pussies in Canada. Mike Rose says, we're churning out a generation of poorly educated people with no skill, no ambition, no guidance, and no realistic expectations of what it means to go to work. That's true, Mike Rose. God, I miss your show, dude. Rick Emery Jr. writes, tip your server, return your shopping cart, pick up a piece of trash, hold the door for the person behind you, let someone into your lane. Small acts can have a ripple effect. That's how we change the world. That's cool, man. I think he's a conservative also, so imagine that. Oh, wow. No comment. Let's see, Jungle James Jim writes, Antifa equals anti-fascist. Antifa equals anti-fascist. It means you're against fascism. It's not an organized movement. It's a stance on fascism. If you're not Antifa, you're pro-fascism. This isn't hard. No, Jungle James Jim, you're just fucking an idiot. You're stupid. I'm sorry, but you're dumb. You are not very smart, Jungle James Jim. And the fact that you would even post this just proves that fact, man. If you don't see what's going on, then shut up. Because if you keep saying stupid things, you're just going to look dumb. I mean, what can I say? I'm glad I don't have to comment on this stuff on Facebook anymore. I can just do it here. Jungle James Jim, go fuck yourself, dude. Idiot. Rory Patrick Fian. Got a little Hunter Thompson here. One of my favorites. When you write for a living, you can't do anything else. You know that sooner or later that deadline's coming. Going to come screaming down on you like a goddamn banshee. There's no avoiding it. So one day you just don't appear at the El Adobe bar anymore. You shut the door, paint the windows black, rent an electric typewriter, and become the monster you always were. The writer. Quote by Hunter S. Thompson. Thank you, Hunter. Edwin McClure writes, the fence industry must be booming. I called 6 companies today to get a quote for a wrought iron or aluminum fence, and only one even answered their phone, and even said they couldn't come out till next week. Those damn fences, people building their walls. You know who's buying fences, right? Well, I need to get a fence around here. You know, like a fence around my property and then get a fence around my fence so nobody fucks with my fence. Not a big comic book fan here. Romana Baroneth. My mom should be the moderator for the next debate. She would ask Trump a question and literally answer it over him. Or she could overspeak him easy and then make Biden repeat tongue twisters. You know, non-partisan candidate torment. I didn't know it's International Podcast. Oh, that was yesterday. Damn. I should have celebrated International Podcast Day. Damn. Leland Clifton writes, you'll never see me happier than when I'm dancing at a music festival. I see a lot of happy people dancing at music festivals. Kansas City when Muhammad's baby is born. I'm right over my head with that one. Proud Boy. Proud Boys say they are standing down and standing by after Trump's debate call out. Kevin Dalton, whoever that is. How can anyone deny his racism? Waldo's asking him in a way to just say yes, but he shouts out the Proud Boys instead, giving an order. Seriously, one of the most chilling and scary things I've ever seen. How's it wrong? How's it wrong? What's the explanation I'm missing? Basically, you're an uneducated idiot, Kevin Dalton. And you're a coward, so that's why you're scared. I'm not scared. So, yeah. Yeah, maybe educate yourself on what's really going on. Maybe even find out what the Proud Boys actually are. And then go back and actually watch this video.
You have Kate in San Francisco, who was killed. Okay. You see, in the good old days, law enforcement acted a lot quicker than this. A lot quicker. In the good old days, they'd rip him out of that seat so fast. But today, everybody's politically correct. Our country's going to hell with being politically correct.
And then stop fear-mongering your own self into cowering submission to your own stupid mind. Kevin Dalton, moron. Andy Cook. What an amazing artist Andy Cook is. And it's like he's building a tree out of like metal pipes. Like, I don't know. Tree is becoming more epic every day. Our client's going to love it. Working on possible names for it. The Controversial. The Treematic Times, Bureaucracy. Probably none of those. Yes, and Andy, just keep working on those. Keep working on those names. But that's an awesome piece of art, man. Aaron Conway, DHS memo told officials to make comments favorable to Kenosha shooting suspect. Okay, yeah, whatever, man. Howard Horowitz again. He's a really disturbed individual. So are you, Howard. Obviously. Trump requires food aid boxes to come with a letter from him. Oh. Yeah. So Trump just wants to make sure that when he sends you federal aid through the conservative Republican agenda, that the Democrats can't claim that they were part of it. So I don't really see what the problem is. But he's deeply disturbed. Yeah. Well, go cash your Trump check and then come back on here onto Facebook and bitch about Trump so that I'll have another episode of this. Yeah, go spend that money, man. Corey Kayer writes, I would like a president that is moral, confident, trustworthy, strong, reliable, accountable, respectful, strong, intelligent, hardworking, caring, dynamic, fair, committed, service-oriented, and mentally stable. These things should be prerequisite for anyone in a position of power. Absolutely someone that represents the people of my nation. Okay. Yeah, Jesus is going to come down from heaven in a light into the White House. And you'll get your perfect individual. Corey, I don't think anyone could disagree with you, except for the fact that, have we ever had a president in the history of the United States of America that would meet the requirements in your list? And that's not the case, unfortunately. Roy Patrick Feehan with a little bit of Stedman art here. Another from the collection, Nixon edition of 30. Man, he's been collecting some great Stedman pieces lately. Check out his stuff, man. He's got a great website too. With he's been on the Gonzo train for a long time. He has a great collection. Jimmy Rogers, stick this up your fact checker. The United States has become a place where entertainers and professional athletes are mistaken for people of importance. I've needed a doctor. I've needed a teacher. I need farmers every day. I need truck drivers every day. I have needed an auto mechanic, a plumber, a house painter, and a lot of other everyday people. But I have never, not once, needed a pro athlete, a media personality, or a Hollywood entertainer for anything. You're right. You're right. No, the reason that they're so important is because the party that they represent are entirely based in the entertainment reality television industry. They blame that on Trump because he's a reality TV star, and look who he has trolled to hell. The reality TV base. No, you're right, yeah. And you can't even get a fence. Sometimes we need to build a fucking fence, and we can't build fences anymore. What is happening? What is happening? Maybe I can call Will Smith, and he'll come down here and build me a fence. Build my wall, Will Smith, you little bitch. Ed Mitchell, if Trump gets elected, I'm leaving the country. Like and share if you think I should leave. You almost triggered me back into getting on Facebook and giving a like and a share, because if that man would leave, the black race would be so far ahead of where it is right now. Jay Jackson, watch the best of John Prine and Austin. I can't play that one because I will get flagged for it. What is that? A candy dispenser? The candy slide. The candy slide is done. The candy shoots out of the end of the slide and into the kids' baggies. No contact, no touching, trick or treating. Have fun. At least some people are still being good neighbors. Charles Aaron Johnson, Democrats, you can't vote green. Nader gave us Bush. Also Democrats. Yeah, the Democrats, man, they love the Bush family, man. Of course they would, because they're all basically neocons. But yeah. You want to take all the bad apples of the past, and you know, the Democrats just love them all. They hate them when they're in office, but boy, do they love them after that. Corey Kayer says, did Trump just tell white supremacists to stand by and stand strong during the debate, or did I hear that wrong? Yeah, Corey, unfortunately, bud, you heard that wrong. You're mistaking white supremacists for the Proud Boys and their black Latino leader. Surface Noise rides again. Heather Michelle Whitley, it's my cousin here. Make parties more interesting by telling strangers, I want you to know that I personally have no problem with you being here. Tara Knight, dead laughing, I guess. Dead crying. We are live here at the inauguration, and wait, what is this? It's, by God, it's Bernie Sanders with a steel chair. Okie Benton again. 2020 will be a discount year for time travelers. Alright, folks, I think I'm getting towards the end here. I mean, this will go on forever. That's the thing about Facebook. This feed will literally never end. I could go on forever, but I'm not. We got some good ones in today. This has actually not been the most politically just rich day for like the idiot things that my leftist friends say. But there was a little bit of fodder there today. I think some of them have blocked me, especially since I announced that I was going to do this. But that's fine. That's fine. There's still a few out there. Donald Trump is not a politician. He is a leader. Politicians are a dime a dozen, and leaders are priceless. Said by Clarence Henderson. Don't know if that's a correct quote or not. Pretty boy swag. Pretty boy swag. Pretty boy swag. Pretty boy swag. In it on a in it on a pretty boy swag. Pretty boy swag. Looking good there, Devin P. Bryan. I'm just fucking with you, man. Derek's a pretty cool guy. Or Devin, I mean. Devin's a pretty cool guy. We had him in the studio once. This is a perfect one to end it out on. We've all seen this one, but man, you're right. You know what really grinds my gears? How the hell did a generation raised by South Park and Family Guy become offended by everything? I have one answer for that, folks. It's because you're a bunch of fucking pussies. And that's going to wrap it up for the day. I'm not going to keep on going down all of this. Facebook is already making me sick again, and so I think I need to pull away from it and get back into my real life here, building out my studio, preparing for tomorrow's episode. I'm working on a project for a client currently that I need to get some progress made on there. And folks, just living the American dream over here, man. God, with all your bitching and complaining, I'm just so glad I'm not you. God damn, I'm glad I'm not you. Bitch. So check us out, hellbrokeloose.com. Give us a subscribe. You want your chance to win free books. I got leftist books. I got righty books. There's going to be some books going out from whichever side that you get. So there'll be Rage by Bob Woodward. There'll be Disloyal by Michael Cohen. And 3 Steps to Destroy America, or Destroy America in 3 Easy Steps by Ben Shapiro. All being given away. All with special features inside of them that come from yours truly. And we got more books already here that I have not unboxed and done a video yet. That there will be more giveaways coming. We also have an equipment giveaway coming up before long, but more on that later. Folks, have a good evening. Again, all in good fun. I know that all leftists aren't idiots. Democrats, you're not all stupid. I'm only speaking about the majority. This is the Colonel.
Hellbrokeloose.com. Hell broke loose.